We need a great reset.
Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
That's right. And I'm going to take this one. Oh, man, I'm just, why don't you take this one?
Okay.
I'm trying to figure this out.
I know you eliminated like 50 articles.
I restructured this entire middle of show.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 articles.
Yeah, they were bad articles.
Oh,
we needed to do the trucker.
Sure.
And it went right into the Great Reset because that's more news happening today.
Yep.
So why don't you take this first one? It's very interesting.
Okay. Well, this is wearegreenbay.com. And it's an update. Judge sides with Ascension. Employees can begin work immediately. Should I just play the clip or do you want me to read the thing?
No, you should read it because the clip doesn't give the backstory. And the backstory is the most important part.
Okay. After several hours of discussion and testimony, the Autogamy.
Where are you starting this?
At the top where it says Monday, 1/24. 2022.
That's interesting. Because reload it. Because it has a Friday. They
Well, I did load this morning, so maybe.
Yeah, they must have. I think they redid it. I don't know. Maybe the one you have is better. Yours is the one that I actually read, so hopefully they didn't mess it up too bad.
This is 4 days later, so yeah, today's the update.
There's an update today, yeah.
Okay. Oh, maybe I should have played that video from before then. Shoot.
No, that one I sent you. It's already been rectified, but I hope they didn't take out the backstory is the problem.
ThedaCare has dropped its lawsuit against Ascension, Wisconsin, according to a new statement from ThedaCare president and CEO Amran A. Andrabi. According to the statement on Friday, January 28th, ThedaCare dismissed all legal action against Ascension, Wisconsin, filed in Outagamie County Court. The now dismissed lawsuit has claimed Ascension had recruited ThedaCare team members at the same time compromising ThedaCare's ability to provide trauma care. This prompted ThedaCare to file a temporary injunction that sought for the court to grant the hospital time to replace most of its 11-member interventional radiology and cardiovascular team of nurses and technicians.
Hold on. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I just scanned this new thing, and they don't do what needs to be done. So if you scroll down, it'll give you the Monday update again.
After several hours of discussion and testimony, an Outagamie County judge has ruled in favor of Ascension and those looking to work there. Okay, so what I just read before was Ascension. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ascension. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Okay, so hold on.
ThedaCare.
Hold on. Just, do you want me to do this? Because I'm already very familiar with the story.
Do it. You brought
I'm going to go all the way
it.
down to the update from the 21st. Okay, it goes like this. It's all the way down at the bottom if you want to find it. ThedaCare is trying to get a court order to temporarily keep some of its employees from leaving to Ascension after Ascension hired a majority of its 11-member interventional radiology and cardiovascular team. ThedaCare announced that they have filed for a temporary injunction in the Outagamie County Circuit Court against Ascension, Wisconsin. They are asking the court to provide time for ThedaCare to replace most of its 11-member interventional radiology and cardiovascular team of nurses and technicians. ThedaCare says they were recruited by and have accepted jobs at Ascension. Now, Ascension and ThedaCare are two different hospitals, like healthcare facilities, and they're near one another. And what this story is about is healthcare workers, specifically radiologists, working at ThedaCare. And the story started with 7 of the 11 ThedaCare radiologists kind of asking for raises, trying to, they're overworked, they're being abused, similar to how nurses are across, the country. But these are pretty important and skilled guys. They're and gals. They're interventional radiologists. So sort of like a fancy extra version of an X-ray guy, like X-ray technician. In fact, I think we have some radiologists who listen to the show now that I think about it. And 7 of these employees, they are at-will employees. So they're not on contract. They are not required to stay in the job. They are at will, just like, you would have any other job that you're not like legally required to stay there for an amount of years. Well, they weren't getting paid enough. They were getting overbooked. They were being abused at ThedaCare. And so they just went looking for other jobs. They went to, and 7 of them found jobs at Ascension Northeast, which is another healthcare facility. And Ascension just had some open spots. They're looking for some interventional radiologists. And so these 7 radiologists go get jobs at Ascension for way more pay, way more benefits, way more, beneficial employee employment, conditions. Yeah. And, they've been abused at this other place. So they just go get new jobs and they tell their boss, like, oh, hey, we found new jobs. We're going to go over there in 2 weeks. ThedaCare then sues in the court and asks a judge to force these radiologists to not be able to change jobs. They have no, contract, no legal reason why they can't just pick up and find another job, especially because they gave ThedaCare the chance to match the salary. They went to ThedaCare. They say, okay, we got this. We have this offer from Ascension. We're going to go over there. They're going to pay us what we're worth. They're not going to abuse us. They gave us, they gave us what we want. We don't have to go over there, though. If you want to match what they're going to give us, we'll stay here at ThedaCare. ThedaCare snubbed them. Didn't even send in, a counter proposal. Didn't even respond to this, attempt to do the right thing by these radiologists. So the radiologist said, okay, well, I guess we're just going to go then. Bye. And they go. And then ThedaCare gets a judge to force these radiologists to keep working at their old jobs at the same pay and horrible conditions. And this judge somehow forces them to stay in their old job, their horrible job. And this is insane. And luckily, the per the updates given in this story, another judge reversed that because it's insane. But you have a situation where in this alleged free market economy that we live in the US, where, as long as you're not under contract and you didn't, make an agreement and sign papers that you wouldn't leave, the whole system is based on the fact that we, the workers, can choose to work wherever we want. And we had this situation where the government literally told these radiologists that they have to keep working at the job they just quit from. Can you imagine quitting a job and then the government tells you you have to go back and work there? Especially if you're just trying to get a new job to get paid what you're worth and, not be abused. And then the judge tells you to go back to your horrible situation. It is illegal for you to change jobs. It was just this crazy portal of a view into, a type of economy that a lot of people want to see. And I think it's similar to the stakeholder capitalism that we see from the World Economic Forum Great Reset. They're talking about the stakeholder capitalism, which they don't tell you this, but the stakeholders are the corporations, as we've discussed. And this was an example of the corporation using the law in stakeholder capitalism to force people to work a place they don't want to work under worse conditions than they could. Now, luckily, the lawsuit continued and another judge overrode that. But we have an example here of this ThedaCare hospital system. Who knows how they got this judge to basically set an absolutely insane precedent. I mean, like Soviet Russia style, precedent towards their workers. We have no idea how this happened, but I bet it wasn't legal, whatever it was. But I worry that we might see more and more situations like this, especially as it starts just worming its way in during this, economic time where workers have just the tiniest amount of power in how they're treated and where they go. And the judge has to step in and almost literally imprison them in their former job.
ThedaCare, I'm very curious to find out how much money ThedaCare spent on legal fees.
Yeah.
Compare it to how much they would have had to give the employees to stay. How much of a raise? Exactly.
It's insane.
It doesn't make any sense from just like a logistic, objective business standpoint.
Yeah. Well, and part of what they want to do, these corporations do it all the time, mostly in the context of like union busting and stuff.
Yeah.
But they kind of wanted to set an example of like, oh, you think you can just leave and go get a better job? Well, if you do that, it might give our other abused employees the same idea. So, it's not just saving money on your salary or whatever, but it's also scaring our other workers into not doing, the same thing. I mean, it is a totally backwards clown world situation that thankfully got rectified. And, but they had to work at that job for like an extra 2 weeks. Can you imagine being forced to go into work by a judge to the job you already quit and like reporting to the manager who you told you were leaving and gave a chance to meet?
I would mess with the managers and.
Oh my gosh, nothing would get done.
I don't encourage this, but I would be.
Machines would start breaking randomly. Tests would start coming back with radically, wild results. I mean, it's just wild.
I would ensure total mass chaos as I stepped out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is how you radicalize people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that these guys did anything wrong or will do anything wrong, but you do this and people start getting radicalized against your company and your economic system. In this case, the Great Reset, stakeholder capitalism.
Yeah.
And, that's the type of thing we can expect from the World Economic Forum, their plan if things get too far along. So anyways, there you go. Little Great Reset example of what can happen there.
Yep.
Why don't you tell us about a bridge?
What about the bridge? Let's see. This is Wapo. Pittsburgh bridge collapse injures 10 on day Biden visits city to talk infrastructure.
Oh,
that is so convenient.
Weird. You mean President Biden happens to be going there to talk about his infrastructure plan that privatizes bridge building and government infrastructure, and it just happened to collapse that morning?
He just has great luck, that Biden.
Ah, yeah, really lucky break there, Biden.
I'm going to read from CNN. Same story here. Biden visits collapsed bridge in Pittsburgh. President Joe Biden visited the site of a bridge that collapsed in Pittsburgh ahead of his previously scheduled trip to talk about strengthening the nation's infrastructure, including rebuilding roads and bridges.
Oh.
My God. Okay. Hours before the president was set to travel to Pittsburgh, a snow-covered bridge collapsed and left several people injured. No fatalities have been reported, according to the city's fire chief, and the cause of the collapse is unclear.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Joe. Joe knows the exact reason.
Yeah, except for a pre-scheduled visit by the president specifically to talk about collapsing bridges.
After arriving in Pennsylvania, Biden told reporters he planned to head to the site. sure he planned something else too. While at the site of the collapse, the president thanked first responders and spoke with state and local officials. Biden surveyed the damage and asked about how long it took for the gas to get shut off and whether there were any runners near the bridge when it came down.
What? Like, seriously, what, Biden? What a weird couple of questions to ask.
How long did it take the gas to shut off? On what? The train on the bridge or the bus? Or
I don't
what are you
know.
talking?
I mean,
the bridge gas? What are you talking about?
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about like civil engineering. Maybe they ran a gas line like along the bridge or something.
Could be.
But also, did Biden just know that? Did someone tell him that?
Yeah, he's got his earpiece.
And if someone told him that, why is he asking that to the media? Like, what in the world? Keep going.
Small talk. He wants to show that he knows what's going on. A little chit chat.
Sure. Totally innocent.
Any runners near this bridge in the snowiest, coldest time of year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, officials told him it took about 30 to 45 minutes for the gas to get shut off, and that there were a few runners around, including one who assisted first responders. Biden said he was grateful nobody got killed. Okay.
Yeah.
Still didn't explain the gas. What did I miss something?
Doesn't explain anything. There's nothing explained.
Hold on. There's got to be something that says something about gas before that. There's like nothing.
It's good.
Biden introduces the gas issue, gas leak of some kind.
And part of it is the reporting, right?
Yeah.
So we're interacting with the reporting here, randomly talking about gas, and that's part of the infrastructure bill. You know, the gas pipelines, the delivery of gas around the country
and the world.
You know,
think about
the
Russia.
Gas companies. Yeah, of course. There's the gas pipelines in Europe, which are a major, point when it comes to the Ukraine thing. But, you talk about the infrastructure bill, it includes billions of dollars for gas companies to build gas lines and like gas pipelines across the country and stuff. So just happens to be on his pre-planned trip to Pennsylvania, the morning he's to show up. A bridge collapses that also includes stuff about gas pipelines, which, it's just so weird, man. And they don't have an explanation for why the bridge fell and nobody was killed. Good. That would be that's the thing. It would be too much. If people died there.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah.
It would be too much for Biden to go there.
Yeah.
Like,
you're right. You got to keep him out. It's too dangerous, whatever.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it would be too dangerous. I mean, that's another thing with the gas pipeline. If there was any question that there was leaking gas at a bridge collapse, the president of the United States would not be able to make a casual, impromptu detour to go check out a dangerous bridge collapse where there's like probably still bodies laying around and stuff. It's just... You don't what the heck? It doesn't make any sense. And I mean, look, I'm not trying to go straight up conspiracy theorist here.
I don't think you have to for this one.
It's too perfect, man. It's not just that it collapsed, but it's too perfect that he happened to get a chance to talk about pipelines that are a part of the infrastructure bill. It's too perfect that nobody died, so he could actually go there without it being sort of uncouth. I mean, it would be just ghoulish for him to visit if somebody had died. Yeah. But luckily everybody's fine. And he gets this super dramatic moment standing on the edge of a dead bridge that he has funded with his one accomplishment.
But I mean, I'm just going to read more of this article here. The president has long talked about the importance of fixing crumbling bridges. Just 2 weeks ago, he announced a new program to repair and replace bridges in poor condition through funding from the bipartisan infrastructure law. While trying to sell the American public on the need to invest trillions in infrastructure, he delivered several speeches in front of bridges that needed repairs. It's almost like a predictive programming going on with all these press conferences Biden was having, talking about collapsing bridges in front of old bridges. There are more than 43,000 bridges in poor condition across the country, according to 2021 data from National Bridge Inventory. Experts have argued that updates and repairs of the nation's infrastructure could play an important role in moving goods and people across the country more effectively or efficiently, and could help prevent a future supply chain crisis. It's all there. The supply chain, bridges, everything is so perfect. Man, Biden must have a really... Somebody's getting a promotion. He's either got some demons that love him, or that there's little leprechauns just feeding him perfect timed events.
And I mean, again, to go full crazy conspiracy theorist, I have no evidence to this, but we know that our government is not afraid of doing horrible things. They do it all the time. They do it abroad. They do it on American soil, and it's almost too much to suggest that they would be capable of something like some sort of convenient. It's
so obvious. Okay, so they have. The bill gave $550 billion in new infrastructure investments that range from roads, bridges to airports, mass transit, waterways, energy systems. And, I can just picture the conference room, Mr. President, we do have the money, but, you're not really getting the public support for this bill. Yeah, it passed, but people aren't very excited about it. Like, they need to see stuff collapse.
How do you mobilize? Yeah, how do you mobilize people? False flag has worked pretty well in the past.
And we don't need to kill anybody.
Nobody needs to die. It doesn't need to be a national tragedy. No, it just needs to be a good opportunity to be thankful for old Joe Biden. And on the day of the truck convoy, where you want to take, it's got to be something that the mainstream can report on and have a reason to ignore the truck convoy.
Well, and the supply chain topic is the common thread there, because
exactly.
You can say, the infrastructure is collapsing. Luckily, we're so happy because we have Biden's infrastructure bill and the $550 billion. Yeah. Meanwhile, the people that actually deliver stuff on those roads that actually work the supply chain are all protesting dictatorship.
Yeah. Coincidentally, there were no trucks driving on that bridge that day because they were all up in Ottawa.
In Ottawa, yeah.
Yeah. There was a quote here on the Washington Post article that said, let me see if I can find it. But to paraphrase, it said the police told Biden that they weren't sure if a gas explosion caused the bridge collapse or if the gas started leaking later.
Wow.
What do you mean you don't know if a gas explosion? Wouldn't there be, I don't know, fire or some burns on the trees? I mean, there's trees 6 feet away from the bridge. If there was an explosion, there would be some signs of, I don't know, an explosion. But they just don't know what did it. But maybe the explosion, they just throw it out there as if like, well, if anybody is asking questions, we can just be like, I don't know, maybe a gas explosion or something.
I like how
we don't know. We don't want to put our word behind that.
It's the way they described in the CNN article, Biden asking about the oil stuff. They make it sound like, this horrible scene, the black trucks pull up, or not the trucks, the SUVs pull up. Biden steps out and he's like, tell me about the oil. How long did it take the oil? And we're like, what?
Yeah.
What
status report. well, nobody died, thankfully. No. What about the gas? Tell me about the gas.
Tell me about the gas. Were there any runners?
Were there any runners?
And there was? That's even weirder. Why were there people running? Anyway.
Just getting some exercise out by the old gas line.
The old gas bridge in the
old gas
snowy,
bridge.
It's cold. Pittsburgh must be what? It's got to be really cold in Pittsburgh right now.
Oh, yeah. No, it's freezing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Just out
there's
for a
snow
jog.
On the ground all over the place.
I know people go out on runs in snow.
Those East Coasters, Gonz. You're a California boy.
I know. Yeah.
These East Coasters, they go jog in the ice and just to feel alive.
Wow. It's like It's like a passive aggressive burn.
Oh no,
there for
I'd
people.
say they'll tell you the same thing, man. That's
Okay.
like their thing.
All right.
Anyways, there you go. I mean, it's just too much to ignore. And that happened this morning.
Yeah. Crazy.
A long article
Which
for something to come out this morning.
we didn't cover Biden's little hot mic thing, but that was something I kept forgetting to bring. There's not much to it. It's just
his
a hot
SOB
mic,
thing.
Yeah, it's funny.
Called a reporter a SOB on a hot mic.
But the thing is,
The Fox reporter is that Peter guy.
yeah, but they say, "Oh, hot mic caught the thing." He's standing in front of a microphone, and he's in the. It's not. It's still in the middle of the whole thing. So it's not like, oh, we're going to commercial break or we're done. No, he's just kind of did. Son of a like what is going on? Anyway, okay.